All right, Karen.
Hey,
How's it
can you
going?
hear me? Good.
I can, absolutely, man. Thank you so much, first and foremost, for coming and hanging out today. How cool! I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. I just sent you a message because I was like, is it my own stupidity or like I didn't know you started yet? So, but I'm here.
Yeah,
It's all
no.
good.
Well, cool, absolutely. I appreciate it. I for whatever reason thought that I was gonna go and I had to go outside really quick and do some yard work, and I thought I was gonna be fucking late.
Oh,
So,
how is that?
thank
Where are you again? I forgot what state
Michigan,
you're in. Okay, is it
Michigan.
hot there?
It's a little toasty, yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
can't complain because the winters absolutely suck ass. So it's like when we have some hotter weather or some sunshine, I can't complain.
Yeah, man, it's like hot here. Like it's been like in the 90s and I'm up in New Hampshire, so it's like
Yeah.
what is happening?
Right. Kind of a blessing, but then also, one of those things where it's like, we should start taking care of our planet. It's coming to
Yeah.
bite
Oh
us in
yeah,
the ass.
we have like the extremes of like in the winter it's like, -10, in the summer it's like 100 now. There's no like spring or fall weather, so it's just
Yeah.
miserable
Yeah.
constantly.
Yeah. You take what you can get, if it's a mild day, then it's like, oh, let's go outside and enjoy it because
Yeah,
tomorrow's going to be blistering.
exactly.
Well, let me ask you first off, as far as yeah, my wife and I do some traveling. If we were coming through Manchester, tell us
Hmm.
about a local eatery or a local restaurant, someplace that we would have to try that's a personal favorite of yours.
Oh man, everyone. So I know you interviewed Pete too, and they're all vegan, and so I mean, I try, but it's hard around here, and I have a lot of friends that are, and they travel. So I don't know if you are, but in terms of that, there's like nothing. But
Oh, okay.
oh man, I don't know. There's this place down the street from me called Ollie's, and it's just like that normal ass, like American, like chicken tenders, pizza, like all that kind of shit. So, like, I don't know if it's just because it's down the street for me that I like default to that place, but yeah, I would say Ollie's for some reason.
Nice,
There's
nice.
a lot
Okay.
of like, there's up near my studio, there's this place called Nudes, and it's a noodle place, and that's kind of cool. Like we've had a lot of like stuff open up in the past few years, so
Oh,
um
nice. Okay.
yeah, it's New Hampshire's weird. It's like a weird mixture of conservative and like people trying to not be so conservative, but so I feel like it's getting there, you know what I mean? It's like we're getting, more restaurants and more like places for art and all that stuff. But it's just because I was like born and raised here, but it's like
Mm.
it's slow going. So normally I have to travel like way outside of where I live to, sell my work or like do events. Anything that's like related to what I do is normally like I have a studio here, but other than that, it's
Yeah.
like I have to kind of like find elsewhere for people to enjoy my work. So,
Oh, okay, okay. I mean, luckily we, kind of. I mean, we obviously live in a time where you have online and you have different things like that too, so that helps a little bit. But that's the same way around here, just as far as like being in a band, and it's kind of one of those things where you have to
mhm.
travel outside of like our local area to where there's an actual scene of some sort. You have to kind of go outside of your realm to be like, hey, there's things that are actually going on here in this state. You just have to travel a little bit.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Also, sorry that my head is so huge. Like this always happens. I'm like, oh, my shit's far enough away, and then like the thing pops up, and I'm like, holy shit! Like, so sorry everyone about my huge ass head.
That's not, it became a thing on my end as far as, doing more of these to where I just bought one of those. I guess maybe it's like one of those like selfie sticks, but it,
Mm.
props up the phone there, the camera. And so that helps out myself because I certainly have the first couple where it's like I'm real zoomed in, like,
Yeah,
oh, all
exactly.
right, well, if I'm going to be doing this, I might want to invest in a couple of tools.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
All right, so digging into your artwork and different things, I wanted to start earlier on, as far as growing up in the '80s, and you've mentioned
Mm.
interests with obviously things like E.T. and the Labyrinth and the Never-Ending Story making an impact on you. tell us about the first movie that really had an impact on you, and what about it drew your interest early on?
Yeah, so I mean, this is a hard one because there was a couple. So I'd say in terms of like, like a lot of what I do is inspired by the '80s because it was like right before the cusp of like too much CGI and people just standing in front of a green screen. Not that there's really anything wrong with that, and there's some movies that are like that that are pretty cool, but like I've always just loved the actual like set building and being able to tell that, someone really worked on this to like build like a complete environment. So, I'd say a few that come to mind that were like really important and kind of like stuck with me. Definitely Labyrinth, anything Jim Henson, but I don't know if you remember, and there's like a weird controversy about this. It's Legend with Tom Cruise. Have you seen that?
Totally.
So I said the controversy thing because apparently because he's like a psycho, like Scientologist. I guess he doesn't admit he was in that movie. Like he won't talk about it. Yeah, look it up because
weird.
Yeah. I don't know if it's because of the whole like devil thing. I don't know, but I just like every time that movie came on, it was like equal parts like freaked me out, equal parts like I thought it was, because like when you're like I was like 3 or 4 watching that movie. So
oh damn.
But yeah, it was just like just the feeling like I don't know how to describe it, but like I just remember seeing it as a kid, and it was like all these like like these feelings of like this is amazing, it's interesting, it's also kind of freaking me out. I don't know why. And then this is kind of funny. Like, so my parents are pretty strict about stuff like getting good grades and all that, but like they never gave a shit about what I watched. So like I remember same time period, I was like 3 or 4 seeing Full Metal Jacket on TV.
Whoa.
And like just watching, I was like, what the fuck? And the part that stuck with me is at the end, that little girl when she's like, shoot me. Like I was like, what? I don't know why. And like, so from there, from like a super young age, I started watching like a lot of Stanley Kubrick stuff, which is probably weird. Like I'm like a 5-year-old watching this shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, like anything of his, and like I think that like watching his movies young kind of stuck with me because it's like, and I love like the psychology around like filmmaking. So especially with Kubrick, like
so much to unpack.
Yeah. It wasn't just like, he does the typical what you need to make an amazing film, but far beyond that, it's like the psychology and shit is like just insane, like the stuff he would do did you ever see Room 237?
Yeah.
The documentary?
Yeah. What'd you think of that?
There were some parts where I was like, I don't know, like I feel like the whole like I don't want to get into the whole like the moon landing shit and sound like a complete crazy conspiracy theorist, but like the part where they kind of show you like, okay, he has Danny on the bike, like going, like driving around the hotel. So it gives you, in your mind, it's showing you a blueprint of how the hotel's set up. It was that impossible window part where like he put the window in the office knowing that people knew the office was in the middle of the hotel, so why would there be like a window to the outside of it? Stuff like that where he would do stuff that didn't make sense, but it was like kind of subliminally not making sense, so it makes you feel uncomfortable. Shit like that, like I love. I don't know why.
I think with that movie, the thing was there was already so many questions with The Shining, and then like watching something else just like adding 50 other fucking things, it was like frustrating.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it.
Yeah.
I don't want to add more to this shit.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know if it's because I was like watching that shit young or whatever, but like I always strived for that feeling when I was like watching other things. not all the time, like you mentioned, like E.T. and all that, like just Spielberg movies in general back then. But that kind of had like its own vibe too, like, you know, that dreamy, glowy, just that 80s shit. So like when Stranger Things came out, I was like, holy shit, this is amazing, because they had like the kids on bikes and like, you know, it was like they followed the formula for what was great back then, and it just like that was like the first kind of series or movie or whatever that, I know it's not a movie, but anything, I guess, visual that kind of brought me back to that feeling from when I was a kid.
Sure.
And I feel like unless people are like grew up in the 80s, they just don't understand the obsession. Like, you know, people like, I sound like a fucking old person, but like kids nowadays, like they can still like that shit. Like I know people are into it, but it's like, man, like living through it, it was like, it was just like amazing, you know,
Yeah.
like with the
Yeah.
technology and like all the new shit. Now it's like technology comes out and everyone's like, oh, whatever. You know, it's like,
Right.
oh, but I have an iPhone that fucking cooks my dinner or whatever. But like back then, it was like so new. It was like, oh shit, this is like, you know, it stuck with you. You remembered it. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, I
It's
just,
funny you mentioned Stranger Things, because I feel like that was one of those things, and this kind of relates to like hardcore, where like you have a band that, you know, they go and they've been busting their ass, and finally they have a record that maybe comes out on a bigger label or something and like really sticks, and people are like, holy shit, this is awesome. And 2 weeks later, it's like, you know, the true hardcore kids are hating on it. You know, it's like that felt kind of like what Stranger Things was, where it was like finally somebody's doing something cool, you know, that's kind of like a throwback 80s thing, but then doing it right. And then it's successful, and people are like, oh, this is bullshit. I just want to go back and, you know, rehash something that's already been done. It's like, dude, this is fucking cool. Like,
yeah.
just have fun with it. Shit, you know?
Yeah, I hate that shit too. Like that I thought we grew out of that after a while. The whole like it's cool to hate shit and be negative. Like
Yeah.
fuck you, man. Like
Still
if
there.
you're like that, dude, I don't even care. Like I love like you're talking about bands. Like you probably know like if you're into like hardcore or whatever. It's like there was a time period where it was like unheard of to like anything new metal. You know what I mean? Like it's like, dude, fuck it. Like I'll still listen to Limp Bizkit. I'll still listen to like Slipknot, and not just like ironically. It's like there's shit of theirs that I actually liked. Like I
Yeah.
liked back then. I'll still listen to it now. It doesn't fucking mean I can't listen to anything else, you know. But like there was, and like I feel like more people embrace that shit nowadays.
Yeah.
But like I remember like from like 2000 to like 2015, like if you were supposedly like in the hardcore scene, you weren't allowed to like any of that shit. And
Yeah.
it's like, come
Yeah.
on, dude. Like, you know, it's like, you know what's new metal? Hating everything. Like that's what's new metal. Fuck you.
Oh damn! I love that. I love that. That's so
Uh,
funny. I mean, somebody rolling up with a $3 bill y'all's T-shirt, you know, at a show. It's like, oh boy, here we go. Shit.
yeah, exactly.
So digging into, you know, you've mentioned around the age of 12 doing, you know, some home videos, you know, of your own, and borrowing a video camera. Tell us about making some of those home videos, those home movies, and you know, what comes to mind as far as early trials with claymation and animation, you know, in those early days.
Yeah, so like back then, so I was in junior high and I had a friend that like I want to say borrowed his stepfather's like VHS camcorder, but his stepfather didn't know we were using it. We were like beating the shit out of that thing. Yeah, no, because we were 12, so like I have no
Oh
concept of
no.
like how much shit cost back then. Like,
Yeah,
oh man,
especially then. Yeah. God.
yeah, and like it was one of those like legit VHS things. So it was like fucking, it was like a giant like it was like a suitcase, like the size of a suitcase back then. You know what now it's like we can just film with our phones and shit. And I, again, not to sound old, but I think about like, man, like imagine when we were kids, like having like cell phones that like, you know, could video record shit.
Yeah.
That would have been insane. But yeah, I don't even know. Like, I kind of got into it from my friend because, like, he had taken that camcorder and was kind of like messing around with it, and like he was pretty artistic too. And like I remember he lived in this like shitty apartment in like the attic, and to get to his room, we'd have to go through like his older brother's room, And like even that was cool because like his older brother like was listening to like, you know, like super underground rap and like all this shit where like, you know, I'm just like this girl that's like 12 and I'm an only child, so it's not like I had like older brothers or sisters like going out and like listening to the shit like movies and listening to, you know, different music and all that. So like I remember he'd always be like either watching something like really weird when I'd like walk through to get to my friend's room or like yeah, listening to music that I'd like never heard before. So even that was like just an experience, you know. And
Sweet.
yeah, it would be like hot as fuck up there in the summer and we were like lighting shit on fire and like in his room.
Yeah.
We'd like make these like stop animation videos like about people we went to school with, which some of it was shitty because I guess like it's like I hate bullying, but like back then like I didn't realize like, oh, making a stop animation about someone we went to school with is kind of, I mean, we weren't like super evil about it, but
Yeah.
it was kind of like joking purposes. But in hindsight I'm like, people probably didn't appreciate us taking all that time to make like one fucking pun about them, you know. We were doing it for like projects and stuff, and like some of them were pretty funny. Like we'd like make copies for people and shit, and you know we were like using the worst language, like I said, lighting shit on fire, and then people's like parents were like accidentally seeing them, and like here I am wondering why I'm not like invited to anyone's house. But yeah, it was just like experimenting with stuff, you know, and like I don't even know why we started doing it. It was just like something we enjoyed and like passed the time. I guess we were like just nerds, you know, and like other people were like experimenting with all this other shit when they were like 12, 13, whatever in junior high, because junior high is weird.
Yeah.
Like that's when shit gets weird. That's kind of like, you know, people say like, oh, like that, you know, that age in high school really doesn't matter, but it's like, it sort of does, you know, that's
Yeah,
sort of
totally.
it could, because it's like if you go too far down one path, you're kind of fucked, you know, if you
Yeah.
start like, you know, I knew people that like started drinking and shit or smoking cigarettes back then. So like, you know, not that it's nerdy to not do that, but we were really doing like nerd shit. Like we were, you know, we'd go outside and do stuff too, but we weren't really like subscribing to any of that like other bullshit. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like in hindsight, I'm just glad I did that kind of thing. You know, I'm glad he like introduced me to that, because it kind of like, yeah, it was like, oh man, this is the kind of thing I like enjoy doing. It's something I want to do in the future. And
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I dig that. You know, as far as mentioning the thing with like lighting shit on fire, was there ever a time, you know, where you had like maybe an action figure, or like maybe he had an action figure or something that like you just loved, and then you wanted to light it on fire for a video, and then in hindsight you're like, God damn it, why did I do that?
Yeah, we did a lot of that. We did this,
Yes.
you know what we love
Same.
doing is, shit, sorry, I live on a busy road, so, my favorite thing to do, which I didn't realize how dangerous it is like the aerosol cans and like the lighter and like making the fireballs. Do you ever do that where
Oh
you like
shit.
spray? So you get one of those lighters that have the super long like tip to it that you light like barbecues and shit with, and you
Yeah.
get like a can of like fucking Lysol, and if you spray it at it, it's like a flamethrower. But apparently, like it can kick back and go back in the bottle and like blow your hand off. I didn't know that until like 2 years ago, and I was like, holy shit! All those times I did that when I was a kid, like, oh
Oh
man.
no.
Oh yeah, we used to light so much shit on fire. Like we were down at this soccer field once and we were like about to do it, and this freaking cop was making his rounds, and he ended up, so I was around that age, I was like 12, and it was Mother's Day and my father's birthday that year happened to fall on the same day, and the cops brought us all home, And, like, I remember my
Oh
mother just, like,
no.
freaking out. She's like, oh my God, like, the neighbors just saw, like, I'm a 12-year-old kid getting brought home by the cops. And it was like, my father just kind of laughed about it, but I was like, oh, I guess here's your gift for my father's birthday, Mother's Day, whatever. So,
Oh no.
that was foreshadowing though, because that's not the last time I got in trouble for, you know, with the law, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now
Fire's
it's
cool is what I'm saying.
but moral of that story there. Okay, I like that. So, like, as far as earlier on, as far as with work for photo shoots, you've mentioned as having different things on hand, wardrobe and backdrops. But take us back to some of the original things. As far as what were some of the stuff when you were just starting, you realized like, hey, I want to have some costumes on hand, or I want to have some sort of sets. What were some of the first things that you had kind of at dispenser, at disposal initially, and what were some of the first things that you bought to have on hand?
Yeah, so I guess a quick backstory here is like I started taking pictures because of concerts. So like I would like go to concerts and like sneak a camera in my pants. I don't know why I was doing that. Like I don't know why I wanted pictures. Like it wasn't really like, oh, I want to remember this moment. It just I don't know, it was weird, but so I started doing that. This is like around like 2001, and
Okay.
eventually like I would go to like little shitty like hole in the wall clubs where they don't give a fuck if you bring a camera in. And so I kind of like started creating a portfolio, and then eventually like I started getting photo passes, and so I did pretty much just like concert photography from like 2001 to like 2008. That's like all I did. And then around like
Okay.
2008ish, I had a friend like ask, and that's the thing, I was like looking for more. Like I enjoyed shooting concerts and stuff, but like back then I was just doing concerts. I did like promo shit, like promo shots like here and there. But nothing cool like album covers or any of that or music videos. So yeah, I definitely like artistically, I don't want to say I started to not enjoy it. I just was like seeking other things to do.
Sure.
Um, so one of my friends was like, well, did you ever consider like doing portraits, like shooting models or whatever? And I was like, I don't know, because I'm like kind of like back then I was like super shy with people, and like if you're kind of like introverted, meeting up with like a stranger and like because it's kind of like intimate when you photograph someone, you know what I mean? Like it's
Hmm.
like you're like either right up in their face or it's just like awkward, you know? You're like you meet up with someone you don't know and then you're kind of forced to like have this weird interaction with them. It seemed like a nightmare, but I was like, all right, I guess I'll try it. And oh man, I love saying this because like I know so many people that get like so down like so quick when they try shit out. You know, it's like people will be like, "Oh, I'm interested in photography. I want to take pictures." So they get a camera and then a week later they're like, I only have 50 Instagram followers and like I'm not published, and I'm like, "Dude, you only fucking have been doing this for a week." So I love explaining like my absolute like failures in the beginning. Like I didn't sell a print, so I started taking photos. Yeah, around 2001. I didn't sell a print until like 2015. Like I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
that's kind of extreme. Like that's probably like don't do that. But yeah, like when I started shooting like portraits and stuff, I didn't know what I was doing. Like I didn't, because I was all self-taught, so I didn't even have the knowledge from anyone to really know where to look, what kind of path to go down, what type of photography. Like, so I mean, it took me probably like 2008 to like 2011 to really know like what I wanted to do. And at first, I knew I didn't want a studio. Um, because to me, and again, this is just out of like pure ignorance, I didn't realize that like when I thought about a studio, I thought about like just white walls and really plain, and I was like, I don't think that's really what I want to do. Like for people who do that, there's nothing wrong with it, but some people just do headshots, whatever. That wasn't my thing. And bringing it back to, like, you know, like what I would watch as a kid, like those kind of movies and stuff, I knew I kind of wanted to do stuff that was like kind of surreal and everything like that. Like I wanted kind of like an environment, like a subject in an environment, and I wanted it to be kind of like a snapshot from a movie. So, oh man, I would do like all this shit. Like all my ideas were horrible at first, you know, because it's like you're just kind of like grasping at straws. Like you're throwing shit on the wall, seeing what's gonna stick. Honestly, and that's like the best advice I can give anyone, because people think they're gonna the first thing they throw on the wall is gonna be it, and it's like no way. I mean, if it is for people, congratulations, because you're lucky. Like you're really lucky. But yeah, I was doing all sorts of like weird shit, like you know, just meeting people in an alleyway and like taking photos, and the wardrobe didn't make sense. It's like, why is this person wearing this kind of costume in like an alley? It just was all fucking just all over the place at first, but then like eventually kind of like focus in on like, okay, I like what I did here, this made more sense, and all that kind of stuff. So so that's kind of how like the wardrobe stuff came about, because at first I was just telling people I was shooting like, oh, just bring anything, which they're thinking you can't think the same way as another person as hard as you try. You know, even if I were to explain something visually to someone like, oh, here's my idea, they could be interpreting it a billion different ways other than how I'm interpreting it. So yeah, doing the whole like, so I decided to just kind of like take it into my own hands in terms of like, I'm gonna make the wardrobe, or I'm gonna like buy it or whatever, and then make it so everything is cohesive, so it all, you know, so the character makes sense in the whatever environment they're in. And eventually too, like I knew I wanted like locations, like the location was important. So like I was Google searching one day, and I found a photo of an abandoned theater that was like part of an abandoned mental asylum down in Connecticut. Oh, wow. And I was just like, holy shit, like I never really thought much about that places like that existed, just in abandoned places in general. I just always thought they were either torn down or just too shitty to look cool. So that was like the first really cool place I went to, and like from there it just like I was like obsessed with going into locations like that. So okay. So then like usually I would like find a location, or I'd see pictures of it online, and I would like kind of like either build wardrobe, or, you know, sometimes I buy it, it depends, or I'll buy something and I'll kind of like cut it up and like re-put it together. But yeah, some of the earliest stuff I made, it was a lot of like old like wedding dresses kind of cut up. I don't know if you have Savers near you. It's kind of like a Goodwill or whatever. It's like a thrift place where it's like secondhand shit. And sure. I used to go there and get like wedding dresses for like $20, like old wedding dresses, and just like cut the shit out of them and like just make all this weird stuff with it. There's a lot of like eBaying going on, like just like finding like all these weird like medical braces and shit like that. So like when I started that, I didn't have a studio, so I was just like putting all that stuff in my basement, and kind of like using my basement as a place where I like built stuff. And eventually I was using my studio, my basement as a studio for a few years. So, and that was after I got arrested for trespassing. But that was only because I was like waiting for the court date, and I was like, I don't want to get in trouble while I'm already waiting to go from getting in trouble. Shit. So
I was gonna ask about, was that spot in Connecticut? Was that the spot that you got arrested?
No, so it was a house in a town called Hollis, New Hampshire. It's like a farm town. Like everyone knows each other, and so like I ended up getting. So what happened is I had been in this house before too, and I knew there was a caretaker. Like no place is like really abandoned, like someone owns the land, even if it's in probate, like the bank owns it, so, you know.
Yeah.
So this was like this shitty, like super caving in, like the roof was caving in, like no one lived there. The first time I went in there, I could just pull the whole window frame off. Like it was like in melted butter. That's how like rotted it was.
Oh
So
God.
I had been there a few times. It was so disgusting in there, but like the shit that was left in there was like really cool. So what I usually do is I like go in and I clean the place up. Like I'll clean up a room and then I'll like set everything up. And it's funny because I always wonder, like, when the caretaker, whoever's watching the property, goes in, I always wonder, like, what they think when they go in, and it's the opposite of what you would expect someone breaking in
Oh
would do.
man.
Like, it's like, what the someone came in and cleaned? Like, what the fuck is that? Like, you know they're not thinking it's a photographer.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, that place
Somebody
I've
trying to
gone...
squat or some shit like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. So I've gone to that place a few times and like rearranged furniture and shit, and like I just happened to be there on the wrong day at the wrong time, and like I was actually leaving with these two models I was with. We were like already outside, but it's like super like rural, like there's fucking nothing around this house. So like I saw this like big black truck drive by us, and I heard him pull into the driveway behind us, and I was like, fuck. Like I knew it was the person watching the property, and I knew that he knew people had been there. Like I could tell because every time I went in, he would like board shit up and like from us being in there. So he ended up calling the cops, and like we were like already on the road, but like the cop like caught up to us, and the person driving was like, "There's a fucking cop behind us." I was like, "Shit." So we obviously lied. We were like, we weren't in there. And this happened in 2014, so fuck you, Officer LaFlamme, statute of limitations. We were in there, fuck you. So, because that guy was a prick too. He actually, I found out this dude, like, I had a mutual friend on my Facebook with this cop, and I was like, how the fuck is, like, my Facebook is like locked down, like my personal one. I was like, how is this dude like getting all this info? And then like a year later, I never thought to look at his Facebook to see if we had mutual friends. And sure enough, I was like, holy fuck. So this cop ended up pulling us over, and we're like, no, we weren't in there. But he Google searched me, and someone had put my pictures that I had taken there
Oh
before.
no.
Because, dude, I knew he was going to Google search me. So as soon as he let us go that day, I like deleted everything. So I thought someone had put my shit on Pinterest for some reason. Like, I don't know why they took it upon themselves to do that. Like on a fucking mood board or whatever bullshit people do. So he found so the cop knew the pictures were from that house because, oh, here's the answer of what people think when they go in and it's cleaned up. So I guess every time that dude that was like watching the property would go in there, he thought he was like losing his mind. He'd call the cops. He'd be like, I swear to God, like, I don't know what's going on. Like, so the cops would have to like go in there and look around, and they would take pictures of my setups as evidence. So
Man.
so they had to go like 4 times because the guy like noticed it like 3 or 4 times. So when he searched me and he found that shit on Pinterest, he immediately was like, oh my God, it's that house. Because he had been in there, so he fucking knew what the inside of the house looked like. So,
Damn.
yeah, so he lets us go, and then like the next day I get a phone call from him, and he's like, this is Officer LaFleur, like all fucking, dude, it's trespassing, you know, just give me a fine, I won't go back there. But it was like a huge thing. So, like, he left me a message saying, like, I had to turn myself in. And I was like, what the fuck? So, like, I turn myself in. I'm like, I don't have to tell anyone. Like, I'm going to keep this quiet. Like, no one has to know. Like, again, I'm an only child. So, like, my father passed away in, like, 2011. This is 2014. Like, I didn't want to tell my mother and be like, oh, hey, I got arrested amongst all the other shit that's happened the past few years. So me trying to keep it quiet, ironically, the next day, I get a message from this dude called Trent Spinner, and he says he works for, like, it sounds like an Anchorman name, like something,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I'm like, Trent Spinner sounds like the douchiest fucking newscaster's name. This is made up. I was like, someone's fucking with me, like, this is bullshit. So then there's like a lot of Google searching in the story. So then I fucking looked this guy's name up, and sure enough, he's part of a news station around here. And I was like, oh, fuck. So like his message was like, oh, we just wanted to ask you a few questions about a story we're running about what happened in Hollis a couple days ago. And I was like, what? Like, what story? Or like, what is going on? Like, no fucking way. Like, I remember, like, my heart, you know, you get like all of a sudden, like, you want a diarrhea even though you haven't, like, eaten. Like, it's that I'm so scared I now feel like I have to diarrhea. Like the fucking shivers. I was like, holy shit, like, this is a nightmare. So, like, my mother had been out, like, getting, like, fucking Chinese food for something, like, I had, like, a photo in, like, Cosmo magazine or something. I forgot what for, but she was like, oh, let's celebrate. She's out getting Chinese food while I'm dealing with, like, scared diarrhea Trent Spinner news guy. She comes back, and I'm like, holy fuck. Like, this happens in the span of, like, 15 minutes. So she comes back, and I'm like, I have something to tell you. And she's like, what? I was like, I got arrested. And she was like, you what? And I was like, and it's going to be on the news in, like, 20 minutes. And she just, like, dropped the bags of Chinese food and, like, went into her room and sat on the end of the bed, like, comatose. And I was like, it's fine. Like, we'll get through this. I'll take care of it.
Man.
And sure enough, it fucking ran on a news like, I'm one of those assholes that had their mugshot on the news. Like, they showed my mugshot, but they also showed someone, like, dramatically, like, typing in my website. And if you search this, if you just Google search, like, Karen Jerzyk arrested, you can find it. But, like, yeah, they were putting my website and, like, showing my pictures and shit. And they showed this for, like, 5 days. I don't know why. Like, they kind of, like, sensationalized it. Like, they made it sound like I, like, kicked down the door of, like, a family of, like, 5 and was like, are you guys eating dinner? Fuck you. I'm shooting porn in here. Because that's the other thing. Like, I had shot a few people nude in there. So, like, they made a huge deal about that. Like, made it sound like, yeah, like, I had some fucked up, like, porn ring shit going on. So, like, then, like, Yahoo News picked it up, and, like, it was fucked up. Like, it literally, like, went viral for some reason. Like, I think I just got, like, lucky. Like, because it's not like I'm the only person that was doing that back then. But yeah, like, it ended up being, like, the best thing that ever happened to me, because honestly, it was, like, a free commercial. Because, like, well, I had to pay a fine of, like, $600, so I guess I paid, like, $600 for, like, people to see my shit on TV, like, day after day. Oh, and when I had to go to court, like, months later, they covered that, too. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, when does this end? But,
damn.
Yeah, yeah, it was crazy, because, like, usually, like, trespassing, it's like, you either get, like, a ticket, like, right on site, or they're like, go to court, no big deal, whatever, which was kind of what happened to me, only the media got involved. So, I don't even know why.
Insane. Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm sorry I went on that, like, rant, but
well, no, I mean, but, you know, I guess the not to say the cool thing out of it, but, you know, having something that's such a dark situation and, you know, so shitty. I mean, looking back in hindsight, you know, looking at some of the publicity that came out of that, and as far as, you know, people seeing your website and people seeing some of your work, I mean, you know, I know that you've mentioned too, you know, it being kind of in a sense like a blessing, you know, almost, as far as, you know, all the people that ended up, you know, seeing your stuff and kind of being introduced through that, you know, may it not at the time been, you know, like a shitty situation. So that's pretty fucking crazy. And how in depth? Oh my God. That's nuts.
Yeah, it got a little crazy. I was glad when it was over, though.
Yeah. Okay. So now going from that, and then you start having prints selling and you're doing different things. Bring us up to date as far as where does the Jane Doe session come into mind? How does that come about, and how did you become involved with that?
Yeah, so that was before I had like an actual studio, which I have now. So a designer that I had done a lot of work with back then, Ashley Rose, so we all, like, all the dudes in Converge are in, like, Massachusetts, basically, which, I mean, Massachusetts is, like, 20 minutes from me, and she lives down there, so, like, we all kind of lived in the same area, so they knew about her work and all that, and, it's funny because we weren't really given, like, much, of much direction, I guess. So I was kind of just getting, like, fielding everything from her, from Ashley, and she was, she just told, basically all she said was, we need to make our version of the Jane Doe album cover, which I was like, holy shit. Like, I was like, well, what, do we make it look different? Do we make it look literal? And, there was three other, like, amazing artists who worked on it, and they did, like, their own kind of version of it, which came out amazing. And we figured it would be cool to do kind of like a spot on, because it's like all mixed media, the original one, but it's not a photo. So we thought it would be cool to take, like, an actual person and make it into that, like a 2D to almost like a 3D type thing. So we were talking about it, and I thought, I told the designer, I was like, I think it would be cool if you made, like, because she was kind of like, oh, no, I don't know what to do. And the whole, like, shadow thing, I was like, it'd be cool if you made a piece that was kind of like that neck shadow kind of coming up. And she made, like, I mean, you can't, it's only like a shoulders up shot, but the way she made the dress, it's kind of like almost split. She made it look like the actual graphic with, like, stuff almost kind of like exploding off of it. So we got this model from Brooklyn that we had both worked with, and a makeup designer, which I think she had done a Jane Doe makeup. I think she had done it on herself for, like, Halloween once. So she already kind of knew, she was already kind of, like, tapped in, and she knew who Converge was. So, but she already knew that she could do the shadowing for the makeup, which was really cool. So, we shot that in my basement, and I just kind of like, So we shot that in my basement, and, like, I just kind of made, like, this backdrop with, like, a ton of, like, sticks, and, like, there's, like, leaves in it. Because I mean, the original doesn't really show, indicate that it's, like, outside or whatever. But I was thinking, like, you think of a Jane Doe as someone being found, dead somewhere and is, like, unidentifiable, but I just thought, like, outside, so that's why there's, like, sticks and everything in it. And
wow.
Yeah, we shot it, like, pretty quick. I mean, I shoot really quick anyway, but the makeup by far took the longest, because she had a picture of the original when she was doing the makeup, and had, like, pretty much, like, every line had to be, like, perfect, because we wanted it to, like I said, just be an exact kind of replica, but it's like it's an actual real person. And that was really cool, because it's like anyone into that kind of music knows how iconic that Jane Doe image was. So, and it's crazy, like, people will tag me, and, like, they'll get tattoos of the version like we all did, and it's like, oh, holy shit, that's, like, really cool. So that was a cool experience.
That rule. Now, did they initially reach out to you or to Ashley as far as kind of initiating the process, or was it something where they had kind of put that out there to different artists that they were going to be doing something like this, and you had reached out to them?
I think, well, they reached out to Ashley, so I think I think they probably reached out to the other artists too. And Ashley had been wanting to work with them on something for a while, so I think once they came up with that, they were like, oh, like, light bulb went off, like, holy shit, she asked us to do something in the past, this is probably a perfect thing. So it was one of those, like, you know, they knew she had to source like a photographer and stuff. So she was like, oh, I know this photographer. Because it's strange, like I back in the day, I like, you know, shot some of their live shows and stuff, but I didn't really know any of them. And I actually ended up, Nate in the band, I ended up shooting his daughter with a model that I shoot a lot. And so he actually came to my house like I think it was after. So
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Okay.
I kind of got to know some of them through that, which is weird because obviously I've known about them for, at that point, it was almost like 20 years, you know, but it's like same with Pete, like with Remembering Never, like loved Remembering Never for like years, never really talked to him or like interacted with him, and then like 15 years later it's like, oh, we're talking and now we're doing shit together. So it's just weird how that you know what I mean, it like comes around. It's like, wow, like I've been listening to your band for like so long, you don't even understand. And it's weird. Also,
Yeah,
again, getting old, because it's like saying that like, oh yeah, 15 years ago, and it's like, holy shit, we're gonna all be dead soon. So
I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that, because I feel like even before like Instagram, I don't know if maybe it was like a MySpace thing or something, some sort of maybe like a chat wall or something like that, but seeing different, you know, East Coast bands getting, you know, photographed and shots, and seeing your name on stuff. And I was trying to look back because I wanted to see exactly maybe what the earlier memories were. But it's, I mean, I agree in that sense, you know, as far as like seeing some of your stuff, and then obviously like that Jane Doe cover comes out and I'm like, holy fuck, this is absolutely amazing and so cool, you know, seeing your name incorporated with that, and then being able to chat and hearing some of these stories, dude. I mean, it is cool. You know, it's, you know, some parts of like the recent technology, you know, I can certainly appreciate. Other parts, you know, with using practical effects and kind of the spirit of the 80s, I love. But yeah, you know, I mean, that is awesome, you know, and especially being a fan, I think that brings, you know, that much more of an energy to your approach to working on something like that. Like, yeah, of course I'll do this, and I'll fucking love every second of it.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
Well, you bring up Remember Never. Next up, I wanted to kind of wrap this up as far as talking with the videos that you've been doing with Ether Coven, and kind of digging into the 3 videos, you know, just different categories. I wanted to dig into these as far as maybe initial ideas or inspiration from yourself and the band, and then, you know, prep for the videos, and then ultimately the shoot. So first of all, we had As the Noose of the Ever-Changing World tightens around your neck. Tell us about that bad boy, and as far as maybe touching on the sets and, you know, the reverse shots, and, you know, how you went about tackling that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I love all of them in that band. They're just like such good people. And not only do I love them as people, I just love their music. Like it's hard nowadays for me to, like, my music preferences have kind of changed. So I don't know if it's because I am getting older, but it's like I try to listen to like heavier stuff like I used to. And you know, our old people are like, it all sounds the same, but it really does for me for a lot of stuff. But I think it's just like a lot of bands nowadays are like taking inspiration from all the bands I used to listen to back in the day, but they, you know, with any kind of art, music, painting, photography, whatever, it's cool to take inspiration. But I always say this, like, if you don't start doing your thing, your own thing, that's like organically from you, people are going to know. They're going to hear it, they're going to see it. And I think people just kind of get lazy and like just study other people who have been successful, and you know, it's just regurgitating it. So it's like, I've heard this before. But then you have like Ether Coven, and it's like, I just, when I hear their music, I'm like, fuck, like this is so good. Like it's like epic. And like, it's funny though, because I'm always like, oh, thanks guys, you chose the fucking like 37-minute song for me to do a video for. I'm like, okay, so basically I'm doing a short film here. Like, they always say, like, if you do a short film, like, do it around 5 minutes. I'm like, oh, so I guess I made a full length, 3 full lengths so far because of them. But yeah, I just, like, I feel like I probably they're a band like what you just said. Like if they asked me to do something, like anything monetary wouldn't really matter to me because I just want to be a part of it because I love what they do so much. Um, and again, it's hard to find music nowadays personally where I'm like I'm obsessed with The Weeknd right now. I fucking love his shit. But like
Okay.
obviously because again that synthy like but yeah, so I don't even know how we got into like doing stuff. It was just like we just kept in touch and you know, Pete reached out to me and I was like, fuck yeah, like I love what you do. I've always loved everything he's been in. So we just they gave me a lot of like freedom on it. I used a couple of my friends that I've like photographed before and yeah, I don't know. It's just like I actually I listen to music a lot to think of ideas too. It's like I don't know if anyone else is like this. I recently found out that there's some people, like half of people can't think of images in their head, which is like a real fact. And I was like, are you fucking kidding? Like, so I'm saying this because I don't know
Weird.
if this is, yeah, like it's a thing, but, so like when I listen to music, I constantly, like when I hear music, um, it's like shit going off in my head. Like I can't help it. So like, but
Sure.
it's so organic and just happens that it's not like, oh, how did you think of this or whatever. I really have no answer to that other than like what I came up with for the videos I did with them just was from listening to their music, or listening to the specific song. So, yeah, it's they're what they do is always so to me just like it's like that depths of like kind of sorrow and like just pain and hurt and I don't even know. So like I when I was you know when I did that specific video with the shadow figure and everything, it was just um it was because I felt it was like a looming like when you listen to that song, it's like I felt that kind of just looming figure, like always there, kind of no way out from it. It's always in your way. It's always doing fucked up shit to you. It's always in your environment. So it's kind of why I had that like shadow figure thing going on, and um, I always picture Pete writing like I know the shit he's gone through and all that. I mean, some of it, you know, he's pretty open about it. And like I always picture him writing and coming from some, you know, me who understands doing shit out of necessity in terms of do I go to therapy or do I create art? I feel better creating art, but you know, there's like a lot of dark moments and there's a lot of moments sitting at home. Um, and I could just be, I mean, he could be going to a fucking park and writing this shit. I don't know, but like, I always, I feel like a lot of what he writes is done like alone in his house. And I don't know if this is true or not, but, so like for some reason, I mean, that's just me projecting my own assumptions, but I always like go to houses when I do videos with them. I don't know why. I'm actually doing another one like in the process. I have to have it done for
Oh
the for
man.
Bolter the Blade. Which have you heard that song yet?
Oh shit, dude! That those new tracks are so cool,
Yeah,
man. They get better.
it's so fucking good. So we actually filmed their parts for it for that song back in I think it was like October of this of last year, October of
Last year.
2020. Holy shit, I don't even know
Wow.
what year it is anymore. It's I don't know what day, year. It's fucked up because of the past couple years, but yeah. So it's we wanted to have it done like a while ago, and it just kind of I had their parts, and it just kind of didn't happen because we when they came up to visit me last fall they were Pete was like, "Do you think you can do three music videos that are all like 10 minutes each?" And I was like, "Fuck it, let's give it a try," you know. Um, so we got done the solid two, uh, but then like you know, trying to fit in for Bolter the Blade, I got their parts in, which is cool. But the other shit, it was just too rushed, and it kind of just like didn't happen. And so now I'm like in a better place, I think, to like do it now and to add, you know, the inserted parts in along with them playing. So, also I've been through some shit in the past like month, so that's like, you know, it's good. I don't know if you've ever spoken to Shane from Ether Coven, but like I texted him and I was like, dude, I'm like ready to do this. I still want to do it, and they're like all down. So because it's something like, again, it's like
Awesome.
the therapy of it, and that song is fucking incredible. It's like I don't know why I wouldn't do it, you know. It's like things just kind of got like fucked up for a few months there. So yeah, I love working with them. Like I obviously hope to like way more in the future, because I love everything and their beliefs. Like we have the same beliefs, you know, like just everything they stand for is completely, you know, admirable to me, and my beliefs fall in line with theirs. So yeah.
Sure. Nice. You know, it's funny too, because like that's one of those things with, even to say, like, prefacing Ether Coven with like Remembering Never, where there would be certain times I remember that it would just be, you know, turning on some of those songs or turning on some of the albums. You have Con Artist, you have some of the, you know, even the last records that they did, you know, where it's like you put it on, it's almost like a therapy session. Like you listen and maybe even fucking you're screaming along in your car, you know, and it's like, all right, I'm ready for the day.
Yeah.
You know, it was truly, it's truly something too, and it was such an honor being able to talk with Pete, you know, as far as digging into, you know, some of the songs and some of the music that they've had, just because he's been such an iconic role as far as vocalists in the past 10 or 15 years that I can remember, from bands that I used to listen to, you know, and still today hearing the stuff that he's doing now, different than Remembering Never, you know, and maybe not so thrashy, but, you know, even heavier in a sense, you know, just as far as looking at the stuff too. So that is really cool. And, you know, I mean, I love hearing some of, you know, the behinds with that video, and then hearing that you're going to be doing more stuff with them too. That's so sick. And I think it's so cool seeing your stuff aligning with their music, you know, and they're kind of being that visual where it's such a pairing, and so cool to see the new stuff that's coming out too. So I wanted to ask, as far as with This House is a Tomb of Memories, was there anything behind the pictures that were behind them, as far as, you know, there's a couple of mirrors off to the side, maybe looking at, you know, themselves, but then some of the pictures in the back, I was wondering if there was any sort of reflection from those that you were placing them in.
So for some reason, like I don't subscribe to any religious whatever, but I love like religious imagery, like just Catholic religious imagery. I don't know why. So the first time they had come to my studio, they were like, holy shit, because I have like this huge wall that's like just all like like religious images from like, and some of them are like a couple 100 years old. Just shit that people have gotten me or I found or whatever. So it was like this huge wall, and I'm pretty sure they posted a picture, and I know Pete has too, but I like did like a promo shot of them in front of the wall. So yeah, so when they came back, Pete was like, is there any way we can like incorporate those into it? And I was like, yeah, like I can figure it out. So I took basically like all the like mirrors, and because some of the mirrors were just kind of like filler, but then I was like, holy shit, this works like kind of cool to like get the reflection of them like in the mirror. And it was cool doing that. It was kind of stressful, but when we did that video, it was I listened to the interview you did with Pete, and you told him you should do like a comedy tour, which I'm always like, dude, you gotta like get a Twitter. But like then it was stressful because like he's doing fucking comedy shit, and I'm like freaking out, having an anxiety attack, because like we kind of just like wung it with a lot of that, you know. We were like, let's figure shit out, and I was like, oh fuck, like he says that's what she said like 100 times like in 5 minutes. So like I'd be like having an anxiety attack, like sweating, and I'd say something and be like, that's what she said, and I'd be like, I gotta go sit down, like you're fucking like But yeah, it was fun, but
It's
it was
funny.
like super stressful. And yeah, I
Okay.
think he should like get a Twitter and just tweet shit he says. Uh, but yeah, like that was like a decision that we just all were like, oh, let's just do this and see what happens. And yeah, that was fun. I mean, that we had to do like take after take of that too, because like um, they had like driven up from Florida, and like I think they forgot like some of their cords or something. So like it took up a
Ooh.
lot of time. We did like 5 days straight of filming for all those videos, and then um, yeah, like House of Strangers we did in my friend's attic. She has like this old like Victorian house and like never touched the attic, so it looks like it's like from the like 1930s or something. There's still like old wallpaper and shit. And that it was like 100 degrees in that attic, and like Pete had to keep coming up and down the stairs. I felt so bad too because he had he had chemo obviously, so like he was in like still kind of like in sort of rough shape. Like I think he hadn't like really been like to the gym or whatever, because you have to like rest and shit when you're getting that
Yeah.
done. So I felt so bad because he was like we were all sweating our asses off, and he had to go like up and down this like tiny staircase that was like steep but like thin, like 50 times. And I was like, he's gonna be literally like, we're gonna have to bring him to the hospital by the end of this. But
With those
yeah,
suits on too. Shit.
yeah, and that's the thing, man. Like, I think, like work wise, like work ethic wise, me and them, we're all like that, where it's like just fucking balls deep in whatever you do. So like, doing like 3 videos in 5 days is like pretty ambitious. So,
So
um,
those were all shot. I don't want to interrupt you. I'm sorry. Those were all shot in succession to each other. You shot all those together in those 5 days.
yeah, yeah. So they
Oh
came like
wow,
on a
shit.
Sunday night, and then we just started Monday. We did like some promo shots. I think actually I know like their Spotify pictures, like one of the shots we took. We like went to this old like haunted house place in New Hampshire. It's like a place you can go like during Halloween. It like one of
Oh
those kind
wow.
of haunted houses where you like pay admission, but they build like this crazy shit. Like they built like it looks like an old Victorian house, and like all. So I like showed them pictures of that, and they were like, "Oh fuck, let's go there." So we like went there one morning, and then like came back and like filmed. Like I was waking up at like 6 in the morning and like getting back home at like 2 in the morning for like 5 days. So.
Damn.
But
Wow.
yeah, we were all like, we can do this, and then we were just like destroyed, and like I was so pissy at the end of it, like because I wasn't getting sleep and stuff. I was like, go home, go back to Florida, fuck off, do whatever Florida people do. You fucking weird Florida people, get out of here. But
Yeah.
it was a brutal. It was like it was one of those like, oh, we're laughing, having a good time the first few days, and then it was like, holy shit, like we were all ready to just sleep for like a week.
Sure. The work aspect of it, comes into play a little bit later on too. So, and I'm sure
Yeah.
at the end of it, you're like, you guys need to, write some new music because now I'm sick of these fucking
Yeah,
songs. I
yeah.
don't want to hear them anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like let's do another 6 music videos that are each 20 minutes long in like 2 days. I can't wait. Let's do it again.
Oh my god! Look, that's wrapping up on what I have for this time. You're constantly putting out so much cool stuff. I anticipate I'll be having you back on here to dig into some more of your stuff that you got coming up here. This is your opportunity. I do have one finale question for you, but to let everybody know what you might have coming up or what you have going on right now, some things in your shop. This is your opportunity, Karen.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me on. This has been amazing. Yeah, doing the video for Bolter the Blade, so keep on the lookout for that. I'm just I ordered like these 2 like skeletons that I think I want to do a series with. So I'm gonna just try to do some like real surreal type stuff. And that's pretty much it, just traveling and not to end this on a downer, but my mother had a stroke at the beginning of July, so she's doing way better now, but like that's, you know, that's like
Awesome.
first priority right now. And we have a good sense of humor about it, so like she'll be like flopping around. She's like, my fucking leg is like completely dead, and we'll start laughing, and people think it's horrible, but you know, that's the hand we were dealt, so you know, it's why not. But yeah, I mean that's what I've been doing, a lot of like just taking care of her while she like heals up and all that stuff. So that's like number one priority. But yeah, I'm excited to like start getting back to like normalcy again and all that. So that's about it.
Yeah, not yeah, and not by any means wanting to like dig, you know, personally, but I love hearing that things are getting better, and I've been keeping a close eye, you know, and seeing different things, and all of the people, once again with technology, as far as all of the people that, you know, have reached out and have helped with that, you know, that situation, and something that's dealt at hand too, and I mean that's incredible, you know, seeing some of that stuff too, and it says a lot about, as far as thinking of the world, you know, overall as a shitty, pessimistic place, you know, you see certain things like that, and it's like, you know, there's some good things going on, you know, and that's awesome, and I love hearing that things are better. So that's good news too. So awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
Totally. All right. So for this finale here, I had, you know, I was just trying to, you know, kind of dig into some things as far as maybe the practical aspect and your interest in film and your photography. And I wanted to ask if you were gifted, or, you know, given the opportunity for a month to use any sort of suit or costume from an 80s sci-fi or horror movie for your shoot. So it'd be something that for a month you could have anything from any film ever. What would something you would want to incorporate in your photography? What would be like a film used suit or costume that you could use?
Oh man, so immediately I'm sure I could say 200 different things, but immediately I think of, and I know I do so many astronaut photos, people are probably sick of it, but I instantly go to one of the astronaut suits from 2001 Space Odyssey. Like that,
Yes.
red or the yellow one. Totally. That's
so sick.
And again, huge Kubrick fan, so yeah, that would be, I think, my number one choice.
Wow. Yeah, that would be so awesome. Damn. I was trying to think of different things that you might mention, and that was not one that I thought of. But that would that would be so cool too. You know, especially with the color visual too, and that kind of vibrancy. Yeah. Sick. Very cool. Very cool. What for some reason, and you mentioning The Shining earlier on too, something that I was thinking that is ultimately tragic, but something that's always resonated out of films too, and especially Kubrick, is that bear costume in The Shining. You know, and that was one of those moments at a younger age, and I've said this a lot in my interviews, but, you know, when I initially see it, it's kind of creepy, you know, it's like, oh, well, what the hell's going on there? And they kind of have that scary, you know, off, distant look, and then you get older, you know, and I watch it again, and I'm like, oh, shit, you know, the mouth holes cut out of the thing, and it's like,
right.
What is going on?
Yeah, and that's the kind of shit where it's like it's a split second, but it's stuck with you. Like all these years, it's like holy shit,
it's still there.
Vibrantly still there.
There was a little while back, I can't remember the merch company, but they had made a T-shirt of that where it was the bear and he's kind of like standing up, you know, like looking like a grizzly or whatever. And I was so close to buying it. I'm like, I just don't think I can. It's just so uncomfortable. Like, I don't know what exactly is going on there, what's supposed to be insinuated.
The point of it is to live almost subconsciously within you.
Right.
You know, that's the point. It's like, you know, you can't see it all the time. You need to randomly think about it when it's just there to make you feel like shit at any given moment, you know. A+ Stanley, like you did it. That's like, you know what I mean? It's like, that's what I mean, like shit like that, when it's like, wow, like how just a split second of that, and there's billions of people out there living with that for the rest of their lives until they die, randomly thinking of BJ Bear.
Oh my God, dear Lord. Well, I don't know how else to end this other than with BJ Bear. So
Yeah, that's
we'll leave that
perfect.
there.
That's
That's the
fitting.
perfect ending. Yeah. All right, Karen, thank you so much. This has been awesome, and I look forward to having you on again and digging into some of your future endeavors and maybe some more videos and some of your shots too. So
Yeah,
thank
that'd be
you very
amazing.
much.
Thank
It's
you.
been
I'll
awesome.
talk to
All
you
right.
soon.
Yep. You
Bye,
guys take care.
everyone.
Stay safe.
He's a lo-fi horror guy. Yeah, he's kind of a guy, but he is so lo-fi a horror guy. Yeah. Lo-fi horror guy has been recorded in front of a live studio audience.